While every individual person is different, it's undeniable that there are certain trends and statistical facts that can be used to categorize a group of people. So if we look at Lithuania and its citizens, what kind of generalizations can we make about those who live in this corner of the world? Let's take a look at 5 things in today's video. The first thing that many Lithuanians love is basketball. The country has its own basketball league, which is made up of 11 teams and is one of the strongest basketball leagues in Europe. The Lithuanians have won multiple medals at the Olympic Games, as well as various medals at a number of other large international competitions. How did basketball become so popular in Lithuania? Well, according to a Lithuanian contributor for The Culture Trip, American-Lithuanian basketball coaches and players brought the game to Lithuania in the late 1920s. With the national team winning European competitions in the late 1930s, this might have been one big factor in popularizing the sport as a common recreational activity for all Lithuanians. The popularity of the sport would only continue to feed into itself, with many young boys across Lithuania having dreams of becoming professional basketball players. Basketball is so popular here that it's often referred to as the country's second religion. To meet and fuel this demand, quality basketball schools for kids have become well established in Lithuania, with a good deal of government money being invested into the sport. The mix of cultural heritage and strong infrastructure ensures the continued popularity of basketball in the country. Helping to ensure Lithuanians are well suited to compete is the fact that they are among the top 20 tallest countries in the world. The next thing Lithuanians seem to love are BMW cars. According to trixfast.com, 2 of the most popular models of used cars in Lithuania are BMW models. Apparently, the BMW 5 Series is one of the most sought-after used cars. Of all the car history reports ordered in Lithuania, reports for the BMW 5 Series accounted for almost 6%, which is significant considering how many other makes and models of cars exist. The BMW 3 Series comes in as the second most popular car when it comes to car history reports ordered. In fact, German vehicles entirely make up the 5 most popular models of used cars, with the rest coming from Audi and Volkswagen. So why is this the case? Well, every car buyer has their own reasons, but broadly speaking, BMWs have become a status symbol. But it goes beyond just a symbol. Stanislavas from 24auto.lt tells me that while most cars force owners to choose between comfort and handling, BMWs often have both. He also tells me that their bodies last longer in the Lithuanian climate compared to cars from other manufacturers. Additionally, ArchieWorldlist.com notes that there is a high trust when it comes to German cars, and this website notes that certain models are coveted due to the equipment, level of comfort, and image typical of prestigious cars, something that is apparently still very important for Lithuanian buyers. Adding to the popularity of BMWs is the fact that they're easily tunable and modifiable, and there's a huge market for spare parts and accessories. Anything that breaks down is quite easy to swap with a replacement component. Some joke that there are more BMW M models in Lithuania than were produced in Germany. The third thing Lithuanians seem to love, or at least have a lot of, are beauty salons and barbershops. Admittedly, this has no statistical foundation and is purely from my own observation and the observations of others. Take a ride on any bus through Vilnius, look out the window, and it seems like beauty salons exist at the bottom of every second building. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little, but there are a lot of them for a relatively small city. It's not quite as extreme with barbershops, but you do also see a lot of these wherever you go. If we move to smaller towns and villages, using Google Maps, we find the same thing, a whole lot of beauty salons scattered across relatively small populated areas. So is there a reason for the relatively high rate of grooming services across the country? I asked a few Lithuanians about this, and most people couldn't explain why this was the case. My own theory was that these types of businesses are easier to set up and require less training for workers. Well, after a few days of searching for answers, one person did have one answer for me. She says that Lithuanians, more so women, seem to place a premium on appearance and that it's an important part of the culture. As a result, there are lots of services to meet this demand. This person also pointed out that the emphasis on appearance goes beyond hair care and can range from laser dermatology to eyelash lamination, tanning salons, plastic surgery, and much more. A Delphi article talking about the prevalence of barbershops noted that people are increasingly looking for services that are closer to home. With less free time, people are looking for convenience and would rather not travel all the way across the city for a haircut. The article also pointed to changing trends and increasing importance on grooming and self-care. Coincidentally, our fourth thing on the list also starts with a B, in English at least, and that is beer. Beer is the most common alcoholic beverage in Lithuania and has its history in the country going as far back as the 11th century. Beer was brewed for ancient Baltic festivities and rituals, and there was even a celebratory feast day dedicated to beer. This took place on the 21st of September and was known as Alutinis. Today, Lithuania has dozens of beer brands available, ranging from mainstream varieties to smaller craft beer options. Apparently, the Dortmunder lager-style beer, known as Žvyteris Extra, won gold in the World Beer Cup competition in May 2012 and silver in the same competition in 2002. It also won the Chicago Beverage Tasting Institute's World Beer Championship in 2001. Our final thing that Lithuanians love doesn't start with a B, and that is the Lithuanian countryside and the many lakes that are scattered across the country. Talk to many Lithuanians about their summer weekend plans, and they might just mention that they'll be heading to the countryside or out to the lake for a swim. With almost 3,000 lakes in Lithuania, there are many great places to visit all over the country. Interestingly, the swimming-based tour company SwimTrek even has a Lakes of Lithuania tour package that you can book. So, there's my short list of things that many Lithuanians seem to love. Some of this comes from my own observations, so I really hope I'm not too far off from reality. The fact that my Lithuanian wife hasn't objected to any of these points does offer reassurance that I'm on the right track. Were you aware of some or all of these things? Or do you disagree with some of them? Share your thoughts by leaving a comment. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.